It's October 3rd on Read Through the Word, and I am excited to be here with you talking about a subject that I still struggle with every single day of my life. This is me just standing at the door, knocking, and that just is a visual of praying and seeking God. I don't have all the answers. I don't have many answers at all. I just know that I'm praying and I believe God. That's just pretty much it. Does God disappoint me with how he responds, or doesn't respond in a timely way? Eventually there's a response, but does he disappoint me in the timing of his response? Does he disappoint me in the answer that he gives me? Yes, he does. I have been disappointed. I have prayed for people to be healed. I have prayed for people to get jobs. I have prayed for marriages to be restored and relationships of friends to be restored as well. And it's not turned out the way that I prayed. So I feel very unqualified to do this lesson today, in that if you're coming to expect an answer from me of why you pray something and you don't get the answer that you want because it says ask and you will receive what you ask for, I'm not that girl. Because this is the bottom line. What I believe is that I think God keeps us knocking and seeking. He keeps the door closed on purpose. I believe he does that on purpose so that we will contour ourselves to his will, that when we do ask, we're asking with the right motives, and that when we do ask, we're asking for his will, not my own. I know when I rush to the 911 and I dial up the Lord and I'm praying and I'm pouring things out, I am praying many times in desperation. Can God answer and hear a desperation prayer? Yes, he can. Can he deliver someone instantly? Yes, he can. Those are things I can't understand, I can't explain, but this is what I do know, is that when I'm jostled and hustled and confused in my mind, I don't know what I'm asking. There was a song years ago, is it by Garth Brooks? I thank God for unanswered prayers. If that's who it is, that I might have it wrong, but I do thank God for unanswered prayers, because sometimes I'm in such a mood. I have the wrong motives in place, that I'm praying things that I look back and I think, oh wow, I am so glad that you didn't open that door. I'm so glad that you didn't open that door. Thank you, Father, that you didn't open that door. I love what Clarke said here. Ask with confidence and humility. Seek with care and application. In other words, be ready to apply what is being revealed to you. Knock with earnest and with perseverance. Because here, and this is how I broke this down, is that asking and seeking are both acts of humility in and of themselves. We are humbling ourselves to tell God, I don't have all the answers. I need you. I'm going to come to you. I am coming to you, telling you I don't have the answers. I need your help. And continuing to knock is an act of devotion to the one we believe is going to help us. We are knocking on that door. We are at his feet. We are on our knees, speaking to and asking help from the person that we believe will bring the help that we need. And the longer that we sit there and we knock and we seek, the more humble we get. And the more clarity, at least I believe, I get by talking things out with God, seeking Him, and speaking to Him about things. Scott and I were talking about this the other day. And he said something to me like, how do you not get discouraged about things that you pray about that are not answered the way that you had seen or according to a vision, because you guys know I have visions, how this was going to look. And my answer was that I just trust God. I trust Him to answer according to what He feels is right. And His vision that He gave me for some certain thing may have this unanswered part as part of the answer. I don't know if that makes sense or not. I put a couple listings there in gotquestions.org that I hope will clarify some questions that you might have coming up in your head. But I will say that as much as I don't know, I do know this. And this, to me, fills every gap in what I don't know. And that is this: that God is sovereign. And what I think would work well and what I think would be a good fit might not be. And I'm going to sit there and knock and seek and ask until my motive is right, my heart is right, to receive what He thinks is right. Does this get tiring? Yes, it does. Does it get spiritually frustrating? Yes, it does. But it also allows me to enter even more closely into the Holy of Holies, to the Holy Father, and get to know Him. Even if I don't understand what He's doing, I can trust Him because there's a connection between our conversation. Put it like this: when you are talking to your best friend and you're just kind of, no, let me back up. Someone you haven't seen in a while. You haven't seen this person in a while. And you just have some small talk going on. And then a little bit into the conversation, it goes deeper. And then a little farther into the conversation, it goes even deeper. And you feel that connection again. You haven't seen them in a long time. You trust this person. They were a part of your life, but they moved somewhere away. And this is even on phone or FaceTime, not necessarily in person. But you can then all of a sudden, you just can open up. And there's a connection there. It's the same way with God. It's the same way with God. We're not going to have that connection with Him if we don't keep knocking and we don't keep asking and we don't keep seeking. Ultimately, He wants us to seek Him for His own will, not for our will. And that's why I said I just think He keeps us outside knocking. Not because He's mean to us or He's trying to punish us. I just want them to be ready to receive what I have for them. And what I have for them might be painful, might be disturbing, might be disappointing. But because they've stood and sought me, they've asked me, and they've entered dialogue with me, they'll be able to handle it now. What is best for them, even if what is best for them is a little painful, a little disconcerting, a little different than what they had planned. But I know that we can do this together. I don't know if any of this made any sense. I hope it did. And I hope that the next time you are earnestly seeking and asking God to intervene and for insight into whatever's going on in your life, that you remember this. That you remember, oh, He's keeping me on this side of the door until I'm ready to receive what's on that side of the door. We'll see you next time on Read Through the Word.